All right, good morning, YouTube. We've got almost 200 miles on the little Hornet of just light commuting time, urban riding. So this morning we're gonna take it out and do a little back roads and talk a little bit about this bike. The first thing I want to mention is the quick shifter. Absolutely beautiful. Works really, really good on this bike. That squirrel was tempting fate, to say the least. You'll notice for downshifts, I don't have to blip the throttle if I don't want to. So one thing we could talk about are some of the ergonomic differences between this bike and the MT-07, which is what I just came off of. Both are very, very comfortable bike. The MT is a very kind of dirt bike position. Your feet are actually pretty far forward and down on the pegs. Whereas the Hornet is a slightly sportier setup. Your feet are a little bit higher up, a little bit further back on the pegs, and you're leaned forward just a little bit more, but I find them to be equally comfortable. They're just a slightly different position. So we are running around in sport mode this morning. It's actually my first time running in sport mode. We've been running in standard most of the time. I really love power delivery compared to the MT. The MT had that fun kind of hooligan nature to it where as soon as you get on the throttle, you feel the torque. A lot of people would call that a twitchy throttle on that bike. I would agree. It's not anything you can't ride with, and it's something you got to get used to when you get into that bike. But the Hornet delivers power much more smoothly. You really feel it come in the middle of band. You really feel the pull, and it's awesome. It's grin-inducing. For me, and you know, the kind of rider I am, I prefer that, but I'm not by any means an expert rider who's going to rag on a motorcycle at the absolute limit. So a lot of people ask, is the Hornet a good beginner bike? I think the answer to that is sure. I don't think it's too much for a beginner. I do think it demands, you know, some maturity. The MT-07, I would say, is not a great bike for a beginner just because of the throttle. I could see you getting yourself into trouble with that bike as a brand new rider. This bike, I think, is fine. And the cool part about this bike is you can buy it as a beginner and you know, not unalive yourself. But it's enough time. You're not going to feel like you need to upgrade immediately. Gearbox is awesome. It's so good. You're going to get that with any Honda. They do a really good job with that. But yeah, very notable for this bike. Huge improvement over the MT-07. Massive improvement over that bike. Just feels super, super good. The handling on this bike is absolutely beautiful. Huge fan. Brakes feel really good now. I think they needed to bed in a little bit. Feel much better than they did before. Nice uphill pull there. Just so smooth. You guys may have remembered when I took the MT out here, I was mentioning that I didn't really feel like I was connecting with the handling of the bike. Not true on the Hornet. Feels really good in the turns here. It's just so smooth, so easygoing. no means an expert rider. I'm sure a lot of people can watch me ride and have lots of things to say about how I could be a better rider, but the point being, even as a relatively mediocre rider, this bike just connects. It just feels good, and it gives me confidence to ride a little bit harder. Even if my a little bit harder is not very hard, relatively speaking. But what it's all about is coming out and having fun, and this bike is going to deliver that in spades. Feels really good in those turns. I can't emphasize enough how much more confidence inspiring this bike is than the MT. I never felt comfortable going through that little jink on the MT, ever. This bike is no problem. In fact, I come out of the turns and I feel like, wow, I could have gone a lot faster. But that's okay. That's okay. Comfort-wise, this bike is just super comfortable for a long time. I mentioned being a little saddle sore in the video coming home from the dealership. I think that was more a function of how much I rode that day, because it is just, yeah, very comfortable on a fresh saddle day. I had also mentioned vibes through the pegs. I will say it is still vibier through the pegs than the MT-07. Is it a lot? No. Are your feet gonna fall asleep? No. The bars, of course, very comfortable. Your hands are not gonna be falling asleep on this bike. Fuel efficiency has been outrageously good as well, much better than the MT-07. Not sure if that's a factor of how I've been riding or it's just up to the fuel map and power plant. It's just a really good engine too. It just out of the box, you're going to be happy with this bike. There's not really much you can complain about. Yeah, this is my first time out on this loop on this bike, and this is the loop that I basically test every motorcycle on because it is the curviest road that we've got out here, which isn't saying a lot, but hey, it's what we got. And you know, this bike, it just, oh, it's blowing all the other bikes out of the water. It really is. Even the Tiger, and funnily enough, the Tiger 900 is up until this point my favorite bike to bring on this route. It does really well through the curves, and you can ride that GT Pro pretty spirited, and it's plenty happy doing it. But this bike is it. Like, yeah, this is now the weekend twisty bike permanently. All right, what else to talk about? Suspension on this bike is really good too. I really like how it's set up. I think it's much better than the MT-07. What else? I don't know. What was I supposed to talk about today? I was having so much fun riding, I didn't even really think about what I needed to talk about. I'm doing a bad job of being a moto vlogger. I mean, yeah, the overall summary, very high grin factor, absolutely perfection in the handling department. Engine is phenomenal, suspension is good. I mean, that's all the important stuff in my mind when you buy a motorcycle. Could it have more creature comforts? Maybe, but at that point you're in a different price point anyway. Yeah, I think dollar for dollar, this is the best middleweight naked you're gonna buy, period. Honda, chef's kiss. Great job on this bike. It's a shame it took so long to get to the US, but at least we got it. Unfortunately, this is the last video you guys are going to see from me for a while. I'm about to have a major surgery, so I'm going to be down for a few months, unable to ride. That's the summer months anyway, which is not terribly fun to ride in Texas. So we'll be back in the fall with more videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the fall, and between now and then, ride safe.